Hey. Hey, sluts. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 2. I'm Aubrey, an Aquarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, Taurus Rising.
I'm Danny. I'm a Sagittarius Sun, Leo Moon, Libra Rising.
And we're your ASTRO SLUTS.
Coming live from the lake.
We're here at camp.
We're here at camp.
So we have some relaxing.
Yeah, if you need to take like a little meditation moment, listen to the birds chirping in the background of this episode.
We're giving nature. We're giving camp.
Everything you need.
Thanks for calling ASTRO SLUTS. Leave your birth time.
If you want to know how to get that guy, text their mom. We're going to need that time. We'll be your latest crush. Call us ASTRO SLUTS.
What kind of life updates do you have for us, Danny?
I would just like to note that literally 2 hours after we recorded, maybe 3, I immediately had sex after.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we did do our, we did like our trial period of celibacy. I was thinking I'd go till September, but you know what?
You said you were over it?
I said I
and
was
when
over
you say
it.
something, you mean it.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I would say that's my biggest update.
Yeah, that's a big update.
Yeah, just crushing and having fun. And yeah, cute shit.
Okay, cute.
What about you?
Well, I did realize that last episode I should have shared. On our final season, or on our final episode of season 2,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I did the most embarrassing thing,
Yes.
and you were like, do not tell them.
Yes, I was thinking about this.
But I think I should tell everyone.
No, do now. Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of last season, famously, we did our fortune tellers.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, go to our Instagram, or I think they're in our link in bios as well.
Yeah.
We have this cute little free printable fortune teller. And we did them live on air. I asked, what's the next sign I should ask out? The fortune teller said Aquarius.
Here we are.
Enter my wife, an Aquarius. And so I'll do the meeting story another episode, because that is also a saga. But essentially, it was a DM slide. And when I asked them out, we tried to plan something, but then they were going out of town for a week, and then I was going out of town for a week immediately after that. So there was a 3-week period between the time that I asked them out and that we actually went out. That is that's an extremely long time to
much.
be excited about someone you've never met.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So there was just so much on the internet about them.
Yeah.
Every social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
articles, interviews.
yeah. So much. I'm they're old. They've been an artist for a long time.
We've got years of content to work with.
A decade of interviews and things. So it was addicting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop myself. But I was really good for a while. Well, and also, so they're a musician. So also there is hours worth of music on Spotify. So I was just listening to their music nonstop, on repeat. I just wanted to know them so badly. And
right. Yeah.
Extremely
a
interesting.
great way
obviously.
how.
Right. No, it was the depths of their soul were on the internet. But for a while, I didn't check Twitter. I don't really use Twitter. And I don't know, I just didn't think to go there until they posted on their story, their own tweet kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was no. I was please have some self-control. Don't look at their Twitter. Why do you don't need to look at their Twitter.
No, Twitter, I will just hop in and say, if you want to get to know someone, though, look at their Twitter. It is the best place for dirt, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
But so then finally one morning I woke up and I was I have to check the Twitter. And so I've got white knuckles on my microphone right now. Okay, let's relax. I go to the Twitter and I do kind of 2 scrolls, not many tweets.
Right.
And I see a tweet from 3 days ago. And it's this is when they were out of town. It's oh my gosh, like one of my Chicago friends just texted me that someone drove past them blasting one of my songs. They like said what song it was. They're like, oh my God, that made my day. I was like, that was me. Like, there was no way it wasn't me. I checked the calendar. I went to like counted 3 days prior, and I was like, no, that's the song I had on repeat 3 days ago.
Right,
and
around the
I
city.
was blasting it through West Loop.
Oh my God.
So that was extremely embarrassing. And like, which is worse? Like, the fact that like I was blasting their music like that, like with my windows down, or that I saw the tweet.
Right. You shouldn't have
There's
seen
layers.
that. Yeah.
I shouldn't. Yeah.
That is so funny.
And so then like all my friends are like betting on how long it's going to take me to like tell this person. I'm going to like sit down at our first date and be like, so I saw your tweet.
I saw the tweet.
That was me. What? I think I waited till like the second day.
No, it was like date 2 or 3. Because
Okay,
I was like, you have to just get through one day and not say
And
it, and
not
then
be a
it's fine.
freak.
Like,
Yeah.
it's fine after that, but
Yeah.
like,
I just,
do
like,
not say it immediately.
I just slowly let it leak throughout our first couple dates that I like already knew all the lyrics to all of their songs. Just casually let that, soak in.
Right.
Extremely funny. They're
So
fine
funny.
with it. They also thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. But this week I've been really mentally ill this week.
Yeah.
I think I just like maybe overworked myself on the new moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Totally.
didn't take like the rest I needed then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just relationships are really hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
remember when we were like, yeah, we don't need that.
I
Like,
know.
I'm
No,
like,
it is really hard.
I do know why we felt that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like with someone that like working through it like feels worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
When in like the past, I would have been like, absolutely
call
not.
it.
I could be single and like not have this issue
no,
right
for
now.
sure.
And I don't feel like that. So
Well, that's great.
Growth and exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last week we did a little icebreaker, get to know you, 2 truths and a lie. You want to remind us of your 3 statements and which one was a lie?
Yes. So my first one was I've never been cuffed for hot girl summer. I had my first kiss with a Pisces in middle school at summer camp. And my last one was I snuck out of the dorms at a ballet intensive to go on a date with a Virgo. And the one that is false is the first kiss with a Pisces. I've never been to summer camp. I didn't get my first kiss until much later, like in high school, and it was not with a Pisces. But I did sneak out of my ballet dorms to go on a date with a Virgo, and yeah, very on brand.
Yes.
I love that for me.
Absolutely.
It was someone I went to high school with, though, and we didn't speak at all ever again, which is very funny. I went to a school of like less than 100 people, so there's
like
no reason
so
for
funny.
that. That's very strange.
Yeah.
How about yours?
Okay, mine were I have never traveled with an Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a relationship last past Leo season. And I've never been skinny dipping.
Mm-hmm.
And the lie is the Aquarius one. I
Yeah.
have traveled with an Aquarius. My wife is a DJ, so I went on tour with them. Yeah, I have never been skinny dipping. It's
I don't think I
on the
have either.
It's on the to-do list.
Yeah, summer 2022.
Yeah. Off the podcast.
Yeah, not here. So in true Mercury retrograde fashion, we had a little oopsie slip up with our text situation, but we should be back by this week. So if you want to get on our text list, you'll get links to when new episodes drop, links to merch, anything exciting happening within the Astro Sluts world or in the sky.
And you can text us at any time
Yeah,
with silly things that happen to you
absolutely.
or how much you love us.
Yeah, compliments, whatever you want to send our way. And to join the list, you can text SLUT, SLUT, to 833-676-2680. And we'll see you on the other side.
We also launched our Depop store last week. Very exciting. We have cute rhinestoned tanks and thongs with our logos on them and stickers for all the signs. It's really freaking cute.
Very cute.
Grab them while you can.
Yeah, grab them while you can. Very limited little quantity. And if you love them, we'll keep making you more stuff.
We thought we'd do a little chat about summer flings.
Amazing.
What do you got?
Well, this is really my time to shine. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in the past, at least, like, a summer fling is, like, so easy. And I wouldn't even say it was, like, I probably didn't label it as that because even that felt, like, overwhelming to me. Like, ew, that seems serious. A fling.
Right.
God forbid we label it that. But that is, like, really, like, I've noticed that is, like, when I, like, am all over the place and seeing whoever or have like little moments, and then I just like hibernate all winter.
Yeah.
But I feel like I had like a pretty solid like almost for like a couple summers with that my Pisces who I ended up dating him, but a couple years down the road. But like we had probably 1 or 2 summers where we would just run around together, just like go to Blind Barber and make out. Yeah. And then like would just not talk for 6 months. You know, the Pisces need to have their recharging, their alone time. And then they emerge from their bedrooms when the sun comes out. So that was kind of like my little situation with that. And I don't know, last summer I was really on one, and I think it does come close to my summer 2019. Like I really was wild. And yeah, I look back on it fondly, but also like, oh my God, I was fun. I am fun. I'm still fun. But yeah, no, like, yeah, like a lot of bathroom sex, a lot of UTIs.
It's a vibe.
Because, you know, that's what you do when you're not always having sex in the cleanest, most responsible places. You get consequences. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun little summer flings running around with like some Scorpios, some Libras, and yeah, my faves usually. So what about you?
I don't think I've ever really had like a slutty summer.
Yeah.
I feel like I usually am like kind of cuffed or like or have nothing going on. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, last summer I was in like a long distance thing. Yeah. Well, I famously have never let a relationship last past Leo season. Right. I think I just like I feel Virgo season coming up and I'm like, nope, it is business time. like the fun is over.
For sure.
Let me get back to it. Yeah, I don't know. I think just 'cause like I was just dating boys prior to that, so I'm like nothing ever like interesting was happening.
Yeah.
Next up is our advice segment. We had one of you lovely listeners write in. Amazing. We're doing a cold read this week. I have not read the submission yet, but it looks good from a first glance.
We're intrigued.
One of you said, "Hi, Astro Sluts. I absolutely love the energy and self-reflection you put out in your platform." Okay, I didn't even read that.
So nice.
I choose the one that compliments us. It says, "Oh, thank you for always being so great and helping me grow." Well, that is really nice.
Oh my God. Okay, well, one, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Says, "I need advice on a man whom I met at the end of last year. I'm a Capricorn sun, Sagittarius moon, and Aries rising." Okay, fun. And I know he is a Scorpio sun, Pisces moon, and a Capricorn rising. All right. He is an incredibly talented creative, and we had ironically matched on Hinge and Bumble until a mutual friend connected us on a more personal level. Okay, it is raining, just so you all know. They're at home. Long story short, I hung out with him and a group of people one night. His one friend couldn't cover our tab, so I had to pay it. Okay. Parentheses, I hope I go to heaven.
I hope you do for that.
And then when we were hanging out, I made sure to make eye contact and very gently put my leg on his thigh and tried to feel him. Okay. He did not even flinch. LOL. Usually this move works, and being an Aries rising, I appreciate a bold move. One time a guy asked how much PPE I needed to fit over my fat ass. Cut to recently, I had attended a couple of his events, and the first and second times I had brought around a couple girlfriends, and he was so kind and approached me. But then when I caught up with a guy friend at his event, he didn't even approach me. Even further, I got drunk, and my fire signs conspired me to DM him and give him my number, in which I've never heard from him since. I usually have no problem enticing a man, but this one has proved a challenge. I feel I am getting mixed signals here.
Mm-hmm.
Alongside, maybe there's some unresolved trauma. I am a healer, i.e. nurse, and things have since fallen off and haven't heard from him again. Should I let the dead rest in peace, or should I add more gasoline to the fire?
I love this. I'm going to answer super personally, just because between your fire placements and his like water placements and then the Capricorn, that's like totally someone I would chase. So I really do
Very
understand.
much all your types.
No, all
Scorpio,
my types.
Pisces, Capricorn.
Literally all my types wrapped into one. So I understand the appeal. And he's a creative. You said like literally can't go wrong. But I think in that, like, if he wanted to, he would. And I think, like, with those types, like, they really do. I think they like to be chased. I think they like to be, like, mysterious. And they like to be, you know, into their art. And they're an artist and blah, blah, blah. But, like, you're a fire sign. You know what you want. You're going to go after it. You already put yourself out there. And you didn't really get the response you wanted. So I think you just got to, like, cut the bullshit. You need someone better than a Pisces, and you need someone who's gonna like go after you.
Yeah, the Aries, like there's nothing, you're not hiding anything.
Exactly.
If you're interested in someone, like you already know, like you're gonna be like, hey, I'm interested in you.
Right.
And like the Capricorn rising with the Scorpio sun, like we have a lot hidden.
Yeah.
Like a lot you don't get to see. But the Pisces moon, like there's a lot going on inside this man.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of feelings in there. So I feel like he could just so easily just like be stuck on an ex or something.
Absolutely.
And like can't like
yeah, and you even
that.
sensed, you said like the unresolved trauma, like that is Pisces moon energy right there.
100%.
Like you clocked that.
You're right.
Like you know that. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's either an ex, it's, you know, his art, whatever he's working on, like that is just, you don't need that.
Yeah. He's just not that into you.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah. You deserve better.
Lots of other humans out there. So find a hotter one.
Yeah. Find a
And
hotter one.
Write in again.
Let us know. So this week we're back to relationship astrology, and we're going to be going through composite charts and synastry.
Very exciting.
Yes.
I will say, I would like to disclaim
Amazing.
that we all need to be careful with these.
For sure.
It is like really easy to spot. If you like look up your chart with someone else's, I find it very easy
Did
to
you
like
have a fun night
spiral.
last night?
It's just like you can like see one
for
challenging thing in it and be like, oh my God, it's never gonna work. We're gonna break up. But like these are really complicated charts with like a lot to them. Like if you just like Google like every individual things like and read the descriptions of them, it's just not going to be accurate because they don't take anything else into account.
Sure.
So like just don't read into anything you Google. I mean ever, but like especially for these, do not like read into like these little like randos on the internet like telling you about your relationship. Like they're so, I find them especially for these things like to be so biased, like and just not nuanced at all because they don't take the whole chart into account.
Bitches hate nuance.
Bitches hate nuance. Shout out my friends in Nashville came up with that. We can't take credit for that. But bitches hate nuance.
Bitches hate nuance.
But yeah, they're really complex. I genuinely recommend stay delusional. Focus on the positives with these.
For sure. I mean, you can be like me, and what I did when I was looking this up is that I saw a challenging thing, and I just said, you know what, we're not going to pay attention to that.
No.
I'm going to continue with the little things that make me happy, and like always good to have things in the back of your mind. But yeah, you do not need to like get caught up on someone's like cafeastrology.com
Right.
like
No,
statement.
I hate
Like
astrology.
don't do that.
If
to
you were like
yourself.
talking to a real astrologer that you
Yes,
trust
different
in
vibe.
person and like genuinely trying to like work on a relationship and using that as context, but like we don't know enough.
Yeah, no, this is just like a good for learning, good for your own use. But yeah, don't
silly and
don't
fun.
like break up with your boyfriend
because you saw something in
there's
your
this
chart.
weird square somewhere.
Right. So we're gonna start with a synastry chart
Mhm.
because I think that is the most common thing. If you look up like compatibility, you plug in both your birth times. A synastry chart is when you're gonna have your birth chart and the other person's birth chart is gonna be like pasted on top of it. So there's
Right.
gonna be like two of everything.
Yes. And we're saying this like in terms of relationships, but like we could do a synastry chart. Like
Yeah.
you could do that with anyone or like a coworker.
Yeah.
Like that can be done for any kind of relationship. Yeah, so you're basically overlaying your charts just to see how you two interact.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you activate things in each other, where like different things kind of align or have different aspects.
Like comparing the two of you.
Yeah. So a really good way to look at this is through aspects. So I'll go through some of the like more common ones. These are mathy, so like listen now, but like if you like want to look at your chart later, it might be easier if you like actually see the whole pie to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you have aspects in your own birth chart as well,
Mhm.
just by yourself. They are like the different degrees between planets.
Yes.
So certain degrees just have stronger, like, gives them like more of a relationship to each other.
Yep. So starting off with a conjunction, these are like close in proximity, usually the same sign. So if you and your partner are both Sag suns, you could say your suns were conjunct.
Stronger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
If
thank you.
as like as the closer they are together, like an exact conjunction is when they are at the same degree
Right,
of Sagittarius,
like
for
on top of
example.
each other.
Yeah, but I know like Chani, an astrologer we really like, considers anything in the same sign a
Yes.
conjunction.
Exactly. And yeah, just like heightened energies there,
Mhm.
essentially. A sextile is going to be two signs apart. So that's like 60 degrees if you're looking at the pies of your birth chart, the pie slices of your birth chart. And this is another positive aspect. Going to be
Mhm.
like more harmonious.
Easy flowing energy.
Yep. A square is 3 signs apart. So that's going to be a 90-degree angle within your chart. It's going to be someone that's in the same modality. So if you remember, our modalities are fixed signs, our mutable signs, our cardinal signs, but a different element. And I would say like squares are like a meh face. They're not the worst thing, but they're not like a positive.
What do you think is worse than a square?
I just don't think anything's that bad.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I don't think it's
okay.
like, yeah.
Just the most, I would say square is like the most challenging aspect.
Yeah, no,
they're
that's
not
fair.
like friends,
Yeah.
but like, of course, we always talk compatibility. You can like work anything
Yeah.
out. You can have differences with people.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not like the end of the world.
That's what, yes. Not end of the world, but it's not like, oh, we get along so well. Our
right.
suns are
This
squared.
is so easy for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to take like a little more effort or understanding,
Yeah.
as we like to say. A trine, that's 4 signs apart, so 120 degrees. This is a happy placement. Yeah. Same element. You're going to get along really well. Good vibes here. And then the final one I have is opposition. So obviously this is like opposing signs. So you're at 180 degrees, same modality, opposite element. This is going to be another challenging one, but this is like I think we talked about like the opposing signs last episode, where it's like you have similarities, but you also have a lot of differences.
Yeah.
So another one, again, not end of the world, but
Yeah.
probably not even as challenging as a square because you're like direct opposite.
Yeah, like considered a challenging aspect, but it is like two sides of the same coin. Or like
Exactly.
I've heard it referred to as like you just like ping pong off of each
Yeah,
other.
that's a
Like
good one.
so we thought we would give some examples in synastry charts. You want me to start?
Sure.
So I obviously did my wife and I's chart. And one interesting thing is that my moon
Mm-hmm.
is conjunct their Pluto. It's giving, I'm obsessed with them. It's giving, I feel like I cannot live without them.
Oh my God, Aubrey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like intense.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of feelings.
Wonderful.
My Scorpio moon loves it, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Couldn't have it any other way. If it's any other way, I'm bored. I'm
No,
dipping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
if it's not like, oh my
How can I live without you?
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
And then one more thing that I thought
Mhm.
was interesting in our charts is that their Neptune, which is like dreams,
Yeah.
is conjunct my MC line slash midheaven,
Yeah.
which is like a career line, like a career point in your chart.
Yeah.
We should talk about this at some point. But like we're both artists and
Yeah, that's
musicians. We like
nice.
help each other a lot with our
your
art stuff
projects.
and like inspire each other.
I love
So I think
that.
that's
That's
really
wonderful.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really nice to have. That's cool. So I'm trying to not focus everything I have in me in this podcast on my traumatic Capricorn ex-boyfriend. So, I did my crush. So, our suns are trine.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, starting off strong. And our moon signs and our rising signs are conjunct. Oh my God, I will just have a brief anecdote here. So obviously I like needed to know this boy's birth chart, and I like do his birth chart. And he's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, we weren't like flirting really at that point. We were really just kind of friendly. And I was like, "I do not know what to say right now."
Right. You're like, well, I love it.
Yeah. Like, I for sure had a crush on him, and he was definitely into me, but we just like weren't doing that. We weren't like acknowledging at that point. So I like literally was like, so we're like similar. Like I just like literally I was like, Aubrey, this birth chart. Like I was like, I don't know how to act normal right now.
Yeah.
And like pretend that this is, we don't have like really, I don't even want to say like amazing placements. It's just like really interesting and really similar.
Yeah.
Like I've never been into someone, like I said this earlier, like I'm looking for the opposite. Usually I want like a water sign and earth sign. This person just has like my vibe. And I'm like, well, this is weird.
Yeah.
So
I know.
interesting.
I feel like that happens so often. Like
Yeah.
we pick out like our ideal big three. Like this
Yeah.
is who I should be with. And then like you meet someone with something like totally different than that, and you're like, wait, no, this.
Yeah. No, it's very funny. And then we have some nice placements within our houses. So my son, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So his son is in my 7th house of committed partnerships. We both have the same rising sign again. So we have like similar, like our, both our 7th house is in Aries. Mars is in my 8th house.
Cute.
Hot. If we remember, 8th house has a lot to do with sex, and so does Mars. We love that for me.
Yeah.
And my Venus and Mars are in his 5th house of creation, and my favorite house that I have we both have in Aquarius. So I think that's just some lovely little things. And yeah, I'm ignoring the placements I don't like and the aspects I don't like.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk about composite charts a little bit. A composite chart is you take both of your birth infos and you calculate the midpoints of all of your placements. So you take your sun sign and the other person's sun sign, and you find like the middle point between those. So there's only you make like a new birth chart for the entity of your relationship.
Yes, exactly. It's very much like the energy between two people. It's almost like a child. Like it's like the third being.
Yeah, it's who you are as a
relationship.
couple.
Right.
My wife and I are both Aquarius suns and our rising signs. So like the houses are only one off from each other. So our composite charts, as I'm sure yours do as well, like have a lot of similarities to our natal charts.
Yeah.
But I feel like that kind of like checks out because we both feel like we can just so like be ourselves around each other.
That's nice.
Like who we are together is not drastically different from who we are apart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. I was saying this to you a little earlier because I was like, I don't feel like I got that much from the composite chart I did, just because it's like literally both of our birth charts essentially. But our sun is an Aquarius, and I mean, like, that is like the most comfortable placement I have outside like my big three. I feel like in like my chart, and just like in with our relationship, like that's always been like a comfortable place.
Yeah, you love an aqua.
And it is like, then it's like in our 5th house, which again, I love the 5th house. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, again, we have like our moons are still in the same place. Our rising is still the same. Our Saturn is still the same. So it was kind of interesting. But I mean, I don't know. I've never been able to be like just like settled and sure of anything, and so it's kind of nice. It's like how I feel about myself,
right?
You know, it's like always just been settled and sure about who I am, and it's like kind of nice to like share that with someone.
Yeah, and that you have like the freedom with an Aquarius sun, like the two of you, like you're doing things your own way, and it's independent and
absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah, same.
The other thing I have for my wife and I's composite chart is really different from either of our original birth charts, is that we have a Virgo moon.
Oh wow.
So moon is famously your emotions.
That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it manifests in like we like love doing things for each other.
That's
like
very nice.
Acts of service is like a really big part of our relationship, and like we love doing like just daily activities together, like running errands or like doing chores together, or just like we like just like to sit next to each other and like both work on our laptops all day. And it's also, our Virgo moon is in the 4th house, so it's like home and family. It's ruled by the moon, so like we feel like really like emotionally safe in that house. Cool. And like we obviously are talking about moving in together.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we're gonna make a nice little home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really nice.
I love that. Yeah, that's very sweet. So if you want to look at your composite chart and want like a little guidance on kind of what the planets mean more in like through a relationship turn or through a relationship lens than like your personal lens, you'd look at your birth chart. Your sun is going to be very much like the purpose of the relationship, or like where you're going to grow, kind of what you could accomplish together. Very much like kind of how it is like the core of yourself, kind of like the core meaning of your relationship.
And once again, like the sign would be like the energy, and the house would be like where
exactly
in your life.
Yes. Your moon, of course, that's our emotions always, so it makes a lot of sense in terms of a relationship, but how you relate to each other emotionally. An easy one. Mercury, another very similar one, but really how you like connect and connect mentally. We kind of talked about this a lot last week with friendships, but like how you process things, and then also how you communicate them in your relationships. Venus, how you show affection, how you love each other, your love languages, all the sweet little things we love. Your Mars is going to be kind of like your drive in your relationship, like kind of what like keeps you going, and also like your sex life. We love that 8th house energy. And Jupiter is going to be like your growth, like where you have room to grow and learn from each other, which I think is like a cool one. It's a nice one, like in terms of relationship, like really where you can like, well, I love to get things out of a relationship. Really, what can we gain from this? How does this serve me?
Right. I think like with the planets in your composite chart are definitely like, if you feel like with this person, like, oh, usually I have such a hard time like expressing my emotions. Like your moon sign in the composite chart can show like why you feel differently in this partnership or with this person. Like, if you, like maybe you have a Pisces like composite moon, so it's like, oh, of course, like it's like a really more emotional thing than you are, and maybe you have an Aries moon or something.
Yeah, that's a nice way to look at it.
It's time for our skinny dipping segment. Since this season is camp themed, we're doing skinny dipping instead of lights out. We're stripping down, after dark, sneaking away from the camp counselors, and
getting vulnerable.
Yeah. This week we're gonna talk about summer loving yourself.
Love it.
Cute.
I think kind of when we wanted to talk about this, it came through the lens of just like summer comes with so many expectations.
Yeah.
Like from like your body to are you going to hook up with so many people? It's like hot girl summer. Like how many people are you going to have sex with? To just like, oh my God, it's time to go out. We've been in all winter. Like there's so many things. Like people, I mean, I do this. I fucking love summer. Like we live in Chicago. Like we like hibernate and it's 0 degrees for so long. So it's like summer is so fucking hyped up here. And it's like, okay, like that's a little stressful sometimes. And like, how do you like actually enjoy the time you have in the sun and like with your friends and when you can go out and like not just get yourself wrapped up in like all the like shit and expectations.
Yeah, there's so much pressure for it to be like the best 3 months of the
like
year.
This is going to be the best summer ever. Every time. Like,
yeah.
That's a lot.
I know. I know. I guess I never really thought about like places with like warmer climates like probably don't feel that as
I know.
much.
I honestly didn't think about that till I was saying that out loud. I'm like, I don't know if this is universal per se, but like in Chicago, like, I mean, there's nothing like a Chicago summer, and like people really put everything into that. Like that is such a thing here.
It's like it's very different vibe in the city once like May comes around.
Right, it's like literally
once it's
best.
like 60 degrees, like things get wacky.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think there's just like things that are like really fun about that and things you can take, and then like with everything just like leave what doesn't serve you. Like I think if that feels like hot and exciting and like empowering and like, oh my God, like here's my time to just like leave all my cares behind and like have fun, like that's exactly what you should do. But I think like at the same time, if you're just like not in the place to do that, or like I don't know, maybe like you want to like do some of that, but like there's some stuff that doesn't appeal to you, I think it's kind of like a take what you need, leave what you don't.
It's like I think it's really hard to like not go out in the summer or to like say no, but like you still need as much rest in the summer as like the rest of the year. So I think it's really easy to like overextend yourself.
Oh my God, I could easily go out every single weeknight after work, every single weekend day, be in the sun 9 hours, 12 hours, like I mean, easily. Like, that's, like, what I'm drawn to do. But then, like, you're going to literally... Well, first of all, you're going to be sunburned. And then, like, second
of all, SPF.
Yeah. First of all, wear your sunscreen. Protection. But, literally. And then it's, like, you're going to be so burnt out. Like, you're not going to have that much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this is, like, an unpopular opinion. I don't know. I think this is a very solid, stable opinion. Obviously, I think my opinions are amazing. But I don't know. I always have a hard time with like the body positivity movement. Like I think it's done wonderful things, but I think like just like obviously it was
an improvement.
Yeah, it's an improvement. It's great. Like glad we got there, but I think just like someone who like grew up in a ballet setting and like has just like such bad body dysmorphia, like the idea of like liking my body is just like way more stressful than just like being able to exist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like maybe helpful for anyone, but like I think like something that I've gotten really good about and like something you could like take with you into the summer, and something I try to remember about myself is like your body has like nothing to do with who you are.
Yeah.
Or like what you're deserving of, or like how much fun you can have, how your friends do not like you because you have a snatched waist.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's just
like, not why you're hot.
Right. And like your friends don't like, oh my God, like you could like love your thighs, but your friend's like, oh my God, I love her thighs. That's why we hang out. Like the whole body positivity thing is just so weird to me. Like I just wish we like, instead of that, like, I mean, that's good, I guess. But like, I just wish we went the route of just like, your body doesn't have anything to do with who you are as a person. And like, you can just be you can just exist in the way you are. And like, that should simply be enough. Like, you don't have to like your hairline. Like, you don't have to. You could just simply have a hairline because that's, like,
that's what you look
born.
like.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think, like, maybe if that's helpful for anyone this summer, that's something I try to go into this season with. Just, like, You know, I'm funny. I'm not funny because I look a certain way. I'm funny because like that's who I am. And that's why people like, you know, people like to be out with me, not because like I have nice calves.
Right. I know. I absolutely cannot with like the summer body as well.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's insanity to me that like people say that shit at all. Still.
I know. Like people have really been like dieting and going to the gym the past couple months.
Yeah.
Like so they look different for summer. Like
yeah. I know.
No. Like no.
Like,
that's
know.
like just such like feels like such like unhealthy like mindset to be like I have to go to the gym so I'm hot this summer. Like go to the gym because you enjoy working out because it's fun. Like
exactly.
you feel
like,
great after. Like
right. Like I love working out. I go to Pilates like as many times a week as I can because I literally feel such mental clarity and I feel strong.
Yeah.
And, like that's all it should be.
Yeah.
Or like you like the endorphin rush. Like it's like you don't need to change your body to fit into a season that is literally just like a cyclical nature thing. Like it's not a real, like that's not like a thing. Like there's no reason that like the leaves bloom and like it gets a little hot and you have to change the way your body looks. Like that's literally insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't fucking do that shit.
Go to the beach, look however you fucking look.
Yeah, and spend time with people who like make you feel safe in that. Like if people like, you don't need to like subscribe to that, and I think it's okay too, especially if you're someone who's like struggled with that in the past. Like it's okay to put up that barrier to say like, hey, that's not comfortable with me. Like I'm gonna look how I'm gonna look in my bathing suit this summer. Like you can do that fucked up shit over there, but like I don't want to hear
like
about
if you're worried about how you look, are you worried about how I look too?
Yeah, I know.
Because I wasn't worried about it until you brought it up.
That stuff like stresses me out.
Yeah.
If I'm like overthinking like, oh my God, are they gonna be like embarrassed at me because like they've been starving themselves for months and like I haven't. I weigh more than I have in my entire life and I'm very happy, but like I don't want to have to think about like, are they gonna be like judging my body at the pool? Yeah.
I am not like fully committed to this yet, but I am toying with the idea of doing like hot bitch bush summer.
I love that. No, I literally opened TikTok today and I have to send you, I don't even know who it was. Someone was just like, can we stop shaving for the beach?
Like I think I'm not trying to do that.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. A serve.
Yeah, for sure.
And like hot.
Yeah, no, I have to find that TikTok though.
Okay.
But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Obviously, like we talked about earlier as well, like the whole summer fling concept. I think there's like, especially in like, I think so much of this that we've talked about so far in this segment, like, is like movies that we watched growing up, like all the like
content we were served as children.
Like the best summer ever, and like summer romances. I'm like Dirty Dancing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I really expected that to happen.
Yeah, no, for sure.
In the summers and like
Grease.
Right, exactly. And like it's probably not going to.
Yeah. I don't know. And like for me specifically, like I mean, I have lived some hot girl summers. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a little dangerous and it's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, it doesn't need to be for you. You don't need to feel like you have to be like a bitch on a boat this summer. That's not your thing. If you want to read a book by the pool in the quiet, you know, you can like subscribe to whatever idea of a slut hot summer, as I like to call it, you want to participate in.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I am a supporter of like not forcing anything, like with our advice segment. Like,
if it happens, it happens. If things come to you, they'll come to you.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting that like you and I have both met people not through dating apps.
I know. My therapist this week said I met a boy in the wild. And I was like, no, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's tea. I've been seeing like a lot of like TikToks and things like shit talking dating apps or like things people being like, I feel like dating apps have like ruined our culture.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I don't know. To be fair, I've never really been like, this is not the word I want to use, and I don't mean this. This is going to sound judgmental is what I'm going to say, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, but like I've never been like desperate for a relationship, if that makes sense, or like even looking for one really. So like I do use apps, but like personally I've just never felt drawn to like spend, like I'm very conscious of my time.
Yeah.
I'm a busy bitch, and like I've never really felt drawn to like even like say like give a random guy from a dating app like an hour of my time.
Yeah.
Like that's really hard for me to do. So like, but like knowing someone in person and like meeting them, and like in my case, I guess with the person I'm talking to right now, like knowing them for like months prior and like knowing they're a good person like is so fulfilling in a way. Like you just like you can like go into things like just kind of knowing that you're like there's like a real good person on the other side of it.
A good base.
Yeah.
A friendship.
Yeah, a friendship. Or even just like you weren't like friends before, but like you knew they existed as a person.
Yeah.
And like
and then I stalked them on the internet, so I knew it was like I knew them.
Exactly. And like that's just an interesting like difference besides like you're like here's floating Brad. Like who is Brad?
These 4 photos we have
yeah,
of
exactly.
Brad.
Like I'm not saying it doesn't work for people, but I do think there is something to be said about just like letting shit happen the way it's supposed to happen.
Well, we love the universe, and I think like the universe is gonna give us the person that we're supposed to have a fling with, have a serious relationship with, have a hookup with. Like I think the universe like has your back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll maybe next episode I'll share how my wife and I met.
Yeah.
Because it was a DM slide that like ultimately brought us together, but it was also very much the universe.
No, for sure.
Yeah. We'll leave you on a cliffhanger there.
Love
but
it.
Yeah, I think the universe will give you the summer that you need.
Yep.
So we don't have to force anything. Don't waste your time like on like swiping on apps, like looking for someone to
the
date.
Perfect summer fling.
Only go to the gym if you want. You look hot in your swimsuit today.
Yeah, as you are.
And don't go out if you need to rest.
Yep. Love it. Notes from your counselors.
Yeah. Camp rules. Gather around the campfire, sluts. It's time to tell a little listener ghost story. Ooh. Says, hi, sluts. Green heart, pink heart. Wow, do I have a ghost story for you? Upside down smiley face. I wrote this in when I first found your pod a long time ago before you had a form to submit, so I'm sending it again. LOL. Amazing. So if it sounds familiar, that's why. I could literally write a novel about this, but I'll try to keep it short. Context, I'm a Virgo sun and Venus, Libra, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Leo rising. Okay. In 2018, I lived with 4 of my best friends, one of whom is my Libra ex, who I'm still besties with to this day. There's a lot of layers to this. But the person this is about was my one roommate, not the ex, who I secretly had a crush on. I had been crushing and subtly flirting, just to see what would happen, for probably a year at this point. It was so bad, I literally just stopped trying to date other people because I would come home to him and any feelings I was starting to get for someone else would just be gone out the window. But you better believe I did not tell a soul. Like, I was prepared to take this to the grave. I didn't want to ruin a friendship, and everyone knows hooking up with your roommate is a terrible idea. On top of that, this guy was kind of a dork. He never had a girlfriend before. We were like 22, 23 at the time. Had been on minimal dates. Often forgot to wear deodorant. Still wore whatever clothes his mom bought him, and pretty much only cared about work and friends.
Like, sounds charming.
Like, well, he sounds terrible. I was low-key embarrassed that I had a crush on him, but he was so sweet and so funny, I just couldn't resist. That's true love.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward a little, and surprise, after an eventful roommate camping trip, me and him started secretly hooking up on the regular after all our other roommates went to bed. To be honest, it was very hot, and despite the consequences I now know, I'd probably do it again.
I love that.
He would sneak into my bedroom so we could make out. There was one time I secretly went to visit him for a weekend in Chicago while he was staying there for work. He told his parents about me. Huge deal, considering he was an Italian mama's boy.
Ooh.
It was a lot. And it was more than just hooking up. There were definitely feelings on both sides, and we had probably the most intense connection I've ever felt. This went on for exactly the duration of a Venus retrograde. I should have known. And towards the end, he got freaked out and convinced me we should come clean to our friends. We did, and thankfully they were very cool with it and had their suspicions anyway. I guess we weren't so sneaky. But literally days after we tell all our friends, he tells me he doesn't want to see me anymore, and he ghosts and moves to Chicago, a place where we both talked about living. But once this happened, he pretty much told me not to follow him there because he'll never be enough for me, which is so sad because I thought he was perfect and couldn't hurt a fly before all this went to shit. As if I'd follow a boy to a new city anyway. I have my own goals that happen to be in Chicago, LOL. Haven't spoken to him since. Guess his sign.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
mystery date. Says notes. Well, do we want to guess so far? I'm guessing Pisces.
No, me too.
Yeah, it's got to be Pisces. Okay. It says notes. I originally wrote this in when y'all were still doing guess their sign, and I don't know if that's still a game, but we are playing, LOL. But if you'd like to answer.
They said we're playing, bitches.
Okay, wait, here are the answers.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God, it's not Pisces. Okay. He was a Scorpio sun and Venus. I was going to guess Scorpio next. Capricorn moon, Libra Mercury, Leo Mars, Aqua rising. Yeah. Oh, and to clarify, he very deliberately made the first move on that camping trip. Not me. LOL, FML. I'm still convinced I'm never going to be truly over this because how fucking dramatic. I even had to go to therapy about it.
Aww.
That's good. That's okay.
That is good.
I've in the past not gone to therapy because I'm like, no, this is not breaking me, but it's I'm proud of you for going. But he's still a good friend of some of my friends, and I'm convinced we will cross paths again when I do actually move to Chicago this fall. Hey, I have a boyfriend now, a big teddy bear Cancer man who I love very much. But low-key, I still want to make the Scorpio guy jealous and remind him of how hot and cool I am when we inevitably end up at a party together someday. But he can't have me. Maybe that's toxic. Maybe it's my Virgo sun, Venus, Libra moon, Mercury, Mars, and Leo rising talking.
Okay, big six.
Yeah, who's to say? LOL. Love you, sluts. And if this gets read on the pod, I will scream, LOL. Feel free to use my name, Casey, she, they, since nobody I know cares about astrology now to listen anyway. Ha, ha, ha.
Love it. Oh my God.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey. We love you. Thank you for sharing.
This was a wonderful journey.
It was a wonderful journey.
I feel like their tone is very our tone.
No, for sure. I also I kind of did I don't know why I thought, because I think they have Libra placements. I also read it as if they were a Libra the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
Which I think just the
Moon, Mercury, Mars. So
yeah,
we've got a lot of
so
Libra.
that is kind of fair, but almost just
and
that
Leo rising. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so I do think it's interesting. I love that you brought up the Venus retrograde because I do think little retrograde relationships that are super fascinating. Because we talk a lot about with retrogrades, getting back with someone, but there is a whole other group of people who are getting into shit when that happens. That's not as discussed. But I do think that's really interesting, and it almost makes me wonder if one of you has a Venus in retrograde in one of your signs or just another one coming
next retrograde is probably when you'll run into him.
Is it a text? Are you going to be at the party together like you said? Is one of you just going to reach out? I do think that's interesting, and I would be really interested to know if that retrograde sparks another connection there.
Meeting someone or getting together with someone in Venus retrograde is so that's why it felt so intense, the best connection you've ever had. That is just textbook. Yeah, I don't know. I'm can we find him and ask him how he's feeling about all of this?
I think a big takeaway we can always look upon is the mama's boys are really always gonna be a hard time. That is just I know it's most of them, But yeah, that is never an easy person to deal with. Like,
they're just like not emotionally mature
no,
enough
it's
to like
crazy.
communicate what's happening in their hearts.
Yeah, my mom would just like, I mean, my mom has said the meanest shit about mama's boys. It's so funny. And I always kind of thought she was like being just like mean. I'm like, oh my God, mom, like relax. Like, I don't know. I'm obviously like don't even have a brother, I guess, either.
Yeah.
But like my relationship with my mom is like, it's very classic, like mother-daughter relationship. Like it's so different than like a boy and their mom. Like that shit is fucking weird. And like it's very interesting. So then it's like, I think it's like already like an interesting dynamic. But then when you're like really committed to being like a mama's boy, like, yeah, that's very interesting. And astrology aside, like always gonna give you a time.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about how the Scorpio sun and Venus, like I think he probably just really liked the secrecy of it.
Absolutely.
Like
he thought it was super hot and then it wasn't hot anymore.
Once you told people.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like lost the sparkle for it.
Absolutely.
Even without the retrograde.
No, for sure. You're totally right with that. And I mean, which is like also just like, I think like a good, I mean, you're with someone else, so I feel like that's great and you've gone to therapy, but like, I think that also is like such a good indicator that like, that is not for you, is like the second that it was like public and your friends knew about it, he just like fucking left the city.
Yeah.
Like, ew, no.
Yeah, Virgo, I want you to be with someone a bit more reliable than that. And just like someone that like makes a little more sense, like logically in their own brains.
Yeah, for sure.
I also want to know more about the ex. I guess you guys are you're still besties with the ex.
Yeah.
So they're probably cool with it, but that is just so.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, the ex was a Libra.
Yes,
that's where I got that this other guy was a Libra.
Oh yeah, no, the ex is a Libra.
Yeah. Fun. What a fun little household you were in. Cookie.
Get you a TV show.
Literally, very new girl.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm sorry that this little boy ghosted you, Casey.
Yeah, that's shitty.
You can maybe like laugh at him when you run into him in Chicago.
No, for sure. And I'm happy you're moving to Chicago because Chicago's the best.
Yeah, we'll see
so
you
good
around.
for you.
That's it for season 3, episode 2 of Camp ASTRO SLUTS. Thank you all so much for listening. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram if you want some advice or have a ghost story or have some requests for us to talk about, which we are getting to, the people that have requested already. Thank you very much. We have a link in all of our social bios to a Google form. It's the same Google form for all of those things. Just fill it out with what you want us to chat about on the pod. We love you guys.
We love you.
And we'll see you next Wednesday.
See you then.
Bye, sluts.
Bye, sluts.